It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. If this is your very first time tuning in, a huge welcome. We're actually going to be going into our 13th season here in the new year, and I'm just beyond excited. You know, it's a big shout out and a big thank you to all the amazing individuals that have been a part of our journey the last 13 years. We have an amazing tribe of men and women around the world that have really been a big support of the Divas That Care network, and it's always exciting when I have the opportunity to interview new and exciting individuals. And I'm going to be introducing a brand new diva, actually, to our family today. I'm really excited to get to know her and to see the kind of things that she is doing out there. Our guest today is Natalie Spellman, and I'm so excited to have her. So, Natalie, welcome to the Divas That Care.
Hello. I'm so excited to be on this show, and I'm so grateful because the Divas That Care, it aligns so much with my mission and with my passion. It's all about change and making a difference and a global impact. So I'm so honored to be a part of this show tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited to get to know you also and to hear all about you. Would you mind, Natalie, kind of introducing yourself to our listeners today, telling us a little about who you are, where you're from?
Okay, so my name is Natalie Spellman, Coach Nat. I am an occupational therapist. I'm also a United States Marine Corps veteran who has served in Iraq in 2004. I'm also a Bootcamp for Life transformational coach. I'm also the author of the upcoming book called Drop Stress Like a Hot Potato for Busy Women. And it's all about transformation. It's all about turning all your pain and stress into power and purpose and impact and just making a big difference in this world. So that's just a little bit about me. There's a lot more to hear, but so far.
Well, it is so awesome. You have so much experience in so many things, and it's a real honor to have you on today's program.
Thank you so much. It's my honor as well.
So, Natalie, I want to kind of dive back in because today I really want to chat about your book. But before we kind of dive into that, I want to ask you how you decided to get into occupational therapy.
That's a great question. Initially, I wanted to be a psychologist. And I love mental health. I love just to get into the mind and just to help people. But when I discovered occupational therapy is about treating the entire person, the mind, the body, the spirit. And when I saw that there's a profession that actually treats the entire person, I was so intrigued by that. And I'm so grateful I went down that path because right now I work with so many patients where I realize that you could do exercises all day, but you have to connect with them on an emotional and mental level as well. And you have to have a psych component as well. So being an occupational therapist, I do so much in terms of function, but in terms of the mental health aspect, that is so crucial to how successful I am with my patients. So, yeah, occupational therapy is under-recognized, but it's a great profession to be in.
You know what? I have heard that. I have heard that from a lot of individuals that occupational therapy is an amazing modality, and a lot of people, I don't think, really understand the full capacity of what it could be used for.
You're absolutely right. And initially people think when you say occupation, they think we give people jobs. No, the job we give people is your function. How do you function in your life? Are you independent in taking care of yourself? Are you independent in managing your home, yourself, your entire being? So it's a greater mission that's actually being represented in terms of what we do. And one thing, as you mentioned that, I got super excited because initially when occupational therapy started, we started out in mental health. It started about, I think it was World War I or World War II, when our veterans were coming home from war, and occupational therapists were the ones working with them initially to integrate them into society. And to me right now, I'm so shocked where occupational therapy or a role in mental health is not what it should be. And I think if we actually get more involved in mental health, we'll actually make a difference in terms of the mental health crisis. So,
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys could do so many amazing things for individuals out there, and it is definitely a need.
Oh, that's why I wrote the book. That's one of my inspirations for writing the book.
And that's what I'm excited because I went to your website before we started chatting today. I was like, oh my goodness, I love the name because, you know, it's not something that I was like, drop stress like a potato. I'm like, oh my goodness, girl, I need that in my life. And so I want to talk all about this book because I really do believe it's a book that I think we all need to read. There's so many stresses out there. And I think that it's really difficult. I think a lot of us are not, you know, maybe handling it the way that we should, and maybe we just don't know what to do. And I'm hoping, and I'm really excited. I think that a book like this is really going to help so many people.
Oh, definitely, because it came out of my own stress journey. Yes, my stress journey is something it's shared throughout the book, and I can also share that if you want me to share that experience.
Oh my gosh!
You know what? I'd be honored. Out of a lot of pain. Okay.
You know, that's what I'm excited about. I want to ask you first, why did you decide to name? I love the name. I thought that grabbed me right away.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I'm one of those, I'm a very creative person. When it comes to naming things, I just like randomly think, oh, my gosh. I start naming things like mess of stress and drop stress. It's like all these random names just come to me and it clicks and I was like, oh, my gosh. Oh, yes, drop. Yes, you need to stop the stress. You need to stop all of that. And when you think of a hot potato is something you cannot hold. You cannot contain it. You just got to let it go, right? So imagine if you have a hot potato in your hand, it's time to drop it, let it go, and move on. So the hotness of stress, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical stress is so hot in your life. It's impeding your growth and your progress. It's time to drop it and let go and move forward. So I think that was my inspiration.
I think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant marketing and everything. That's exactly what it reminded me of as being a child. And it's like, oh, and I just dropped it.
Yes, exactly. And the book cover, you don't see emojis of hot potatoes, the hot potato of trauma, the hot potato for grief. So if you look closely in the book cover, there are emojis of different potatoes who are stressed in different ways.
Yeah. And it looks like you're throwing the potatoes out of your car.
Yeah, because life is a journey, right? You're on the journey of life. You're trying to get to your destination, right? And our destination for each person may be different. My path may be for success. It could be for power. It could be for fame. For me, it's purpose and legacy. And we're all going through the journey of life trying to get somewhere. But to get to your purpose and your power, you got to drop behind to get to where you need to go in a very successful path. So, yeah, that was my reason for my book cover.
Well, I absolutely love it. It really was eye-catching. Why did you decide to write this book?
Okay, so it first starts, remember when I mentioned I was in the United States Marine Corps? So I was in the Marines, and I was actually stationed in Iraq. So I was in Iraq for several months, and I remember coming home 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. And while I was in Iraq, there was we were actually bombed, and we thought we were going to not make it home to the States. And imagine young kids, we're young, fresh, we're like 19 years old. We were just like kids wearing uniforms, right?
Oh
and in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I almost wasn't going to make it home. And when I left Iraq, we got home safely, thank God. Whatever happened wasn't as bad as we thought, but we got home. So when I got home, I was actually dealing with PTSD, unbeknownst to everyone around me. And I continue because in the Marines, we're taught to be strong. You're the United States Marine. You're the few, the proud, the U.S. Marines. So when we're suffering, we don't voice our pain. We tend to keep charging forward. We're strong. We keep going. And as a woman especially, we have a lot to prove. So when I came back home, I had PTSD and no one knew about it. And I went to school, got my degree as an occupational therapist. I was working with veterans. I'm a clinician. I'm a professional. And I was just like, one day, I just remember looking into the bathroom mirror, and when I washed the makeup off my face, I saw that I was in pain, I was depressed, I was dealing with miscarriages, multiple losses in my life. And I was looking at myself, I was like, oh my gosh, I am in trouble. I am in trouble. I would be in the hospital for weeks because my body was in so much stress and pain. And when I go to the hospital, like, ma'am, there's nothing wrong with you. Why are you here? But I'm like, this hurts. They're like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I was like, something's going on, but my body was, I wasn't functioning well. But people saw this beautiful smile, and no one knew I was actually suffering in silence. And then one day I was in the ER, and the right side of my body was not working correctly. The diagnosis in the chart was not good. It says young female presenting with whatever symptoms, her body wasn't working right. I got scared. I got really scared because I realized that as a therapist, a person with a stroke, yes, filling the tag from there. And I remember I was just crying, and I was with my stepmom, and we're asking people for prayers. And I was healed. I was miraculously healed that day. And when I saw that I had a second chance to live, a second chance for life, I could not take that lightly. And in that moment, when I got home, I was like, you know what? My life was spared for a reason. The fact that my limbs work, my arms can work, my fingers could work, my legs are working. I have to be on a mission to help other people. There's no way I could go through life having such an experience and not do anything to help anybody else. And since then, I spent countless hours doing research. I spent countless hours using my clinical skills. I spent hours and hours and hours not watching television anymore. It was just me in a state of mind of just learning, like, what's the antidote for stress? What's the antidote? What's the antidote? And each time I was learning something, I was actually applying it to my own life. And it was just like a transformation took place. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And what most people don't know is that one of the secrets to solve your stress is to find purpose in your life. And that's a powerful message. Gosh. You know, it's a powerful message. Because when you're no longer focusing on your pain, your challenges, your struggles, and you use that for purpose, right? Mm-hmm. And for meaning and for impact, it's like so therapeutic, and it gives more new meaning to your life, and there's excitement and there's energy and positivity. Oh, you're getting me excited here, Candace.
Oh, my gosh.
Let me stop talking.
No, please don't. This is just amazing. I always find it's just so... It's awe-inspiring. I don't even know how to describe it. There's no words for it. But when I hear somebody that found their purpose and they know what they're supposed to be doing, what God gave them to do out there, it's just like it's amazing. And I'm just in awe of it when I hear somebody talk about it. So it's just beautiful.
You mentioned that. I want to share something else. I remember one day I was in my office and I was just crying. I was on the floor just crying. And I'm like, why am I dealing with multiple miscarriages? I'm like, I'm not a bad person. I love what I do. I help people. I'm not a bad person. Why am I having multiple miscarriages? Why am I dealing with so many lost, bad relationships? It's just like everything in my life was just going bad. And I could not understand why. And in the moment of me crying, it got so weird where there was like a great sense of peace that came over me. And then after that, I just felt like a peace that said, you know what? I trust you to go through this experience because I know you can relate to women dealing with grief and miscarriages. You could deal with veterans. You could deal with brokenness. You could deal with any mental health issues because you have experienced all of them.
Yes.
And because you have gone through it, you are the one to make a difference in their lives. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
That is so powerful.
Whoa. That was heavy. So that's why I'm so mission driven, because I felt as if, oh my gosh, there's such a purpose where I got to be the one to make a difference. I have to be the voice of hope. I got to tell people, like, listen, you're going through brokenness right now, but guess what? There's light at the end of the tunnel. There's more to your life. There's meaning. There's purpose. So, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Quick caveat.
Oh, my goodness. But now I can see it. You know, now you see the picture, right? You see, oh, this is why she's doing it. And so you obviously, and you wrote this amazing book that's out there. and it's a workbook. So tell me how listeners can use this workbook in their lives, because I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to go out and go get it.
Okay. So this was the challenge I initially had. So, like I said, I'm a United States Marine, so I know what is leadership. I know what it's like to be mission-driven and mission-oriented and all of that. I'm also an occupational therapist when we're clinical, right? I know what it's like to help people to function in their daily life. I know what it's like to get you driven and motivated and to do different things. Then I'm also a transformational coach. So I'm like, okay, I'm all about making change and impact and how you need to go through the stages of transformation mindset. So a friend, I'm a mentor, I'm a counselor. I love to give advice. I love to do all these different things. So I'm like, how do I combine all my skill sets into one book to give people a true experience of transformation? So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to bring all of me to the world, right? So I did. So wow. I put all of that in the book. So when you go through the book, it's a whole transformation where I give you little teasers about myself, like different stories about how a low girl with low self-esteem, no confidence, actually went to the United States Marine, the underdog who became a superhero. So the journey starts with a sneak peek of my journey, and it goes to the whole transformation from that stage of me being broken, and then how I picked up from being broken to a woman on passion and mission. And then in the book, it's a whole experience where you are checking in with me. There are storyboards. There are times when I actually pause each session, and I'm like, okay, it's time for checking in with Coach Nat. Okay? Talk to me. How are you feeling? And there are moments in the book where I become more like a real talk, like a friend who's like, listen, you have a lot of meaning to your life. You need to move forward. So I'm jumping in at times where I'm the real talk with Coach Nat. There are times when there's a section is called Ask Coach Nat, right? So let's say there are questions in your life and you have all these questions, you don't know what to do and you feel stuck. I take on the form of like a letter, and I'm giving you like an advice as how to handle that particular problem you're dealing with. And then there's a section where it's Coach Nat on the go. So if you're in a moment, you're dealing with grief, loneliness, pain, trauma, I give you commands. Stop, breathe, and then I give you counsel. I give you some words of wisdom, right? And there are times in the book where each chapter ends with an inspirational quote. And throughout the book, there's super tips. And throughout the book, it's just like there's storyboards to set each stage of the book. Oh, my gosh, I could keep talking. It's just like life coaching. And there are times when I get into drill instructor mode where I'm like, tough love, you know, and there are times when there's a soft friend comes in and I'm just being gentle and I'm counseling you. So I'm taking on all these different hats where I'm like, I'm giving people a fuller experience of what it's like to be transformed. And the whole process should take 65 days. It's a 5-part section book where it's divided into part 1, where I talk about the bumps in your life. There are rules to life. If you're not living by these rules, this is the path you could take. Part 2 talks about emotional hostages. We talk about emotional neediness. It gets
and
so
Natalie,
deep.
I like how you say that it doesn't happen overnight. I think people have this thing that they think that everything is going to change overnight. And I always like to stress to people, like, when you're making a big transformation, like you're saying, in your life, it does not happen in a short period of time. It takes time to do it.
It does. It does. Especially when you deal with trauma and depression and grief. Trauma and grief took time. It's not something that randomly gets going to wake up and it's gone. You know, it's going to take a lot of mental work. You got to work on the subconscious mind. There's a lot of work in terms of resetting your mindset. So I love Dr. Carolyn Leaf. She talks a lot about the 21-day cycle, 63-day cycles in terms of how a new habit change in your life for transformation to take place. So Dr. Carolyn Leaf was also one of my major inspiration as well. So, yeah, transformation does not happen overnight at all. So
who is this book good for? Do that. Like, we have listeners from all around the world. Who is this book really designed for?
So when I first started out, with the intent to write the book for women. But when I'm writing the book, I realized that this book is for every single person who feels so lost They feel so broken. They feel as if they cannot figure their lives out. They feel like they're in the middle of a journey and life is too tough and they cannot handle this. Some people may feel like, you know what, I'm at a low point. I'm done. I just want to give up. This book is for all those people I've mentioned and more. If you want life coaching, how to live your best life, it's all there. So it's just like any single person who is going through life and you live in life, this book is for you. But the title says women for now, just because I initially started out as for women, but the content is for every single person who's going through or dealing with any stressor in their life.
Oh, this is awesome. So can people get this on, Kindle and on hard copy, or how does that work?
So the book launch is next week, the 28th of December. And it's going to be available on Amazon. Yes. I wanted to get it done for Christmas, but I think it's better to start it for the new year, a new start, transformation. I think it's better appreciated for the new year. So instead of a New Year resolution, you're going to go through the transformational process. So it's ready. It's going to be launched next week, Wednesday, December 28th. And you could get it initially as a ebook, Kindle version, of course, and then later on you can do the paper copy. By the way, it's all in color. You cannot, the whole experience with the colors, you're going to love the colors. It's all calming and it's relaxing, and it's just like you feel as if you're actually going through a therapeutic, transformative experience. The colors were psychologically selected.
Oh, so, that's brilliant, because a lot of people might not understand that, the color therapy and everything and how it all works and how your mind is connected to that. So that is great. I love that idea. Yes.
And people are like, why you got to I was like, it has to be color. It has to be color. You cannot give an experience like this because it's epic. It's all intentional. Like I said, I use all my skill sets to create this book. And it's all, like I said, mental health is my expertise. So, yeah.
Oh, Natalie, thank you so much. I am so excited. I'm actually I'm excited to go get your book, because I think it's something that, I could use in my life. And I love it when we have amazing women on our program like yourself that are really trying to, make an impact in the world and really trying to help people. And I'm so thankful that you actually took the time today, because I know that you have an extremely busy schedule, and I'm so glad that you're able to share about this book on our program before it launches.
I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission of hope, because each time when I turn the news on and I see the sad stories of suicide and I see stories of people just giving up on life, it breaks my heart, and there's something inside of me that just leaps like, oh, my gosh, I need to do something about it. There's an urgency for me to get the book out. There's an urgency for me to speak about it, because I'm like, there is hope. It doesn't feel like there's hope right now, but there's hope at the end of the tunnel. You just got to stay. You got to stay with it. You just got to see. And that's why I talk a lot about fueling your pain and your stress into power and into purpose. And your stress does not last a lifetime. You just have to refuel it into the right products, purpose and power.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, Natalie, I hope, and this is something I'd love to chat with you further about, but I would love for you to come on to the Divas That Care on a more regular basis and maybe give some of our listeners some tips and tools and ways that they can really help their lives.
Oh, definitely. I mean, in the book, you see, I talk a lot about your narrative functional identity. I talk about the unwritten formula for success. I talk a lot about those proactive tools. There's so many content I could present. So it'll be my great honor, and it will be my pleasure to share anything I can to make a difference in this world. I'm on a mission.
Oh, my goodness. I love that. Well, I would love for the Divas That Care to be a part of your mission and to collaborate with you in any way that we can.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I would love that so much.
Excellent. And do you have any last-minute tips today, something to leave our listeners, and also a way for them to, you mentioned Amazon for your book, but is there another way that they can check you out?
Yes, my website is called Natalie. It's www.Natalie, as in Natalie, Shand, SHAND.com. It's www.natalieshand.com. Okay? And the words of wisdom I want to leave here today. I want each of your listeners to recognize that their lives are so precious. It is valuable. It has a lot of meaning. There's a lot of purpose to your life. And you are here for a special reason. And sometimes with your stress and your pain, you may not see the brighter picture right now. But I'm telling you, when you change your perspective, when you change your mindset, you then have the ability and have the skill set to live your life with meaning, purpose, passion, and you can live in a way that's going to make great impact in this world. And in doing so, it will change your state of being, and it will bring true joy and passion and bliss in your life. Okay? So there's hope. We just got to stay with it, okay?
I love that. Thank you so much. That is beautiful.
Yes.
Well, Natalie, I had an extremely great time chatting with you today, and it definitely ended too quickly, and I would love, as I mentioned earlier, to get to know you more and to hear more amazing words of wisdom from you, and we would love to have you back on the Divas That Care.
Oh, definitely. Anytime.
Fantastic. Well, it was a pleasure, and I will be posting all your social media on ours, just so that everybody is aware of your book coming out, and we're going to have the links attached so that they can go and pick up the book on December 28th, and that would be great because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll be picking up a copy on that day also. So thank you again for sharing that with our listeners today.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
And thank you to all of our amazing listeners. Make sure you go check out Natalie's website. As I said, I'll be posting it. And, go and check out the book, but also go check out all the other things that she's doing. She's just an amazing woman, and she's really out there to support as many people as she can. We hope that each and every one of you has an amazing day. There's so much going on this time of the year. There's so many emotions, the Christmas season. And my prayer for all of you is that I hope that you take it easy, to know that there's people out there that are there to support you and that they're always going to be there in your corner. I hope that all of you do something kind for somebody, because we need more kindness out there, and practice that. It's a rippling effect, and more people will start doing it. So thank you again to my amazing guest, and thank you to all of our listeners. I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas season, and I'm looking forward to the new year. So take care, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.